This is Joe Leigh here for Seconds Out with Adam Booth, here at the Wasserman Boxing headquarters in central London. I guess you could say for Josh Kelly's new chapter, new journey. First time doing an interview, meeting with you. So nice to meet you, and how are you?
Fine, thank you for asking. You?
Yeah, I'm good. It's good to be here. Can't complain being in central London. Nice day, nice event, and as I say, here for Josh Kelly today. What do you make of his new chapter that he's going to begin with under Sky Sports, obviously continuing that relationship and with Wasserman and Sal and brothers?
Yeah, well, I've got a really good friendship with Kala and Nissa, and I've done a lot of work with them over the years as well, big events. So we're friends, but also business associates. We know what Wasserman are in terms of the sporting world, and when they put their partnership together and I had a chat with Kala, it was certainly something that got my attention, and it fits with what Josh Kelly wants to achieve and how he's going to go about making his improvements on the things that were lacking before.
Was it ever in your mind or Josh's to leave Sky, or was that kind of the main aim of this new?
Well, really, like, as a fighter, you sign with the promoter, and the promoter has the right to do the broadcast still. But you know, let's be real. It's been Sky Sports that have kept boxing alive for decades, and when no one else was invested in boxing, Sky Sports were. So realistically, boxing as a business only exists in this country because Sky Sports kept it so alive. And I personally have had fantastic working relationship with Sky over the years with David Haye and the World Heavyweight Championship. So for me, it's just a continuation of a broadcaster on the platform that I've only got, you know, good memories and good working with.
What were the options then for Josh? Obviously there's the Zone, and maybe specifically with promoters, you've got Eddie, Frank, obviously the Sauerland brothers, Wasserman. What were the options, and did you look at other people, or were you kind of confident from early on that you'd be here?
No, well, I'm not going to make any reference to conversations I've had with anybody else, because I want to be respectful to people that I work with. But I go back to what I said at the start, that, you know, Kala and I are friends, and we've had good business dealings before. We've had conversations at length before coming to this decision, and for me, this was the decision for them to make. Kala and the Wasserman team then presented to Josh and showed that their belief in his renaissance, his return, his career, how his career is going to keep evolving from here, and he was happy with that.
How is it going to keep evolving then, obviously?
Well, that's what you're going to see. I mean, you're going to his fight will be announced fairly soon, and you'll see. And for me, as his coach and his manager, it's about keeping our head down, doing the job, and, you know, assessing it when it's all said and done, at the end of the career, not during the process. And we're just doing our job.
We've seen him, you know, in the UK as I think it was Calais said there's a lot of measuring sticks, and we've seen Josh up against different bunches of talent. Where can we see him in his next fight in terms of the measuring stick, kind of along that line?
We'll decide that. I mean, like I said, like Josh took huge steps very early in his career. Ray Robinson and David Avanesian, both fighters who compete and succeed in the top 5, top 10 in the world. So we know that that's where Josh's level is. It's about him evolving as a fella and as a professional, and proving what we still believe he is.
So we're going to see a comeback fight, and then perhaps someone along that.
So I'm not going to say who, but you know, he will have a schedule set out, probably a 5-fight schedule set out, and we'll take it from there.
And someone you just mentioned a couple of minutes ago, David Haye, obviously fighting at the weekend. Everyone, maybe I was a fool to believe him, but I truly believe when I spoke to him, he said, "This is it. I'm not thinking past September the 11th," and he's blown everyone out the water. I was surprised watching it, calling out Tyson Fury. Did you expect this to happen? Did you know that was?
I really didn't pay any mind, if I'm honest. I paid it no attention. The sooner that gets put a stop to, the better, that whole type of event. Yes, I understand people are saying, well, it's bringing more eyes on boxing. I look at it a different way. I think the sport of boxing is actually being abused by the interest in that type of event. But no, I really didn't pay it much mind.
Because in fairness to him, he's a lot younger than Evander Holyfield. Do you think people like David Haye coming back is a bad thing, because he's not he's not old, although he's retired, he probably should stay out. Do you think it's a bad thing for him to come back?
I don't know. I've got no comment on that. I really don't. I've got my own opinions, but I'll keep them to myself.
And Shannon Courtney, what's your relationship with her currently right now?
I'm her manager.
Just the manager, and she's fighting on the October 9th.
Yes.
What can we expect to see over the next kind of year from her? Do you think she's going to keep the current level she's at, or fight Rachel Ball again, Ebony Bridges again? Do you have a status on those fights?
No, I mean, I think the Rachel, you can't look past the fact that she's got a defence to have on October the 9th. I think Rachel Ball deserves a shot at her title, and I'd like to see that fight happen as well. But for now, she's just got to stay focused on October the 9th.
One more thing I do want to ask, because of we've kind of just spoken about the legends fighting and so forth. Just the YouTube boxing. It's kind of different with Jake Paul because he's actually dedicated himself to boxing. Are you pro YouTube boxing or specifically Jake?
I know Jake's. It's not YouTube. YouTube is a platform to show videos. I don't say YouTube. But just look at the individuals. And I know BJ Flores, who's Jake Paul's coach. I know BJ really well. And what it appears to me, if I look at it even with cynical eyes, is that he's trying to be the best boxer he can be. He wants to do it, and he's giving the sport the respect it deserves by trying to be the best he can be at it. He's never going to be the most proficient of fighters because he's not got the time to evolve the understanding and the experience. But from what he is, I think at least he's giving the sport the respect it deserves in trying to be the best he can be.
I think it's a good way, you put it, the fact that he might not actually, I said it myself, YouTube boxing, but yeah, realistically, he's just been on that platform and now he's doing it kind of the proper way, the way a normal boxer would.
The more things change, the more they stay the same, and the world is always changing. And the explosion of social media over the last decade or whatever has been immense, and it's just it's just a sporting entertainment part of that. But at least he's doing it the right way. He's committing himself to the art and trying to be the best boxer he can be.
And as you say, the sport's changed a lot. From who you've got on your top, Sugar Ray Robinson, the days when he was fighting, he'd be fighting every month, probably more than that, to now where you see fighters fighting 2 times a year for the heavyweight champion. It's changed an awful lot, and to see the way it is now, I don't think anyone could have expected it.
No, maybe not. It's I fell in love with boxing in the early 1980s, and that was my passion. It's certainly a lot different now. I wonder, youngsters nowadays, they probably get more attracted to things like MMA and UFC than they do boxing.
I could probably agree with that.
But boxing at the moment is in the UK is thriving. There's a lot of interest in it. There's a lot of broadcast. There's some excellent fighters from this country, so just enjoy it while it's like that. I just stay focused on the bits that give me positive vibes and good feelings rather than things that might frustrate me.
And last question, on this subject, who is your favourite boxer of all time?
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Sugar Ray Leonard. Okay, but do you think he beat Marvin Hagler?
Yes.
You do? I don't. I watched it when he passed, and I kind of watched that back. It's a close fight, but
he stole the fight.
Yeah.
He stole the fight.
Think so? Okay. Well,
he stole the fight on points. He didn't win the fight. He didn't beat the man. He just won the points. That's what it was.
Well, there we go. Thanks for speaking to us here at Seconds Out, and hopefully we can catch up again soon.
Nice to meet you.